What's up, Everyday Blades? Man, we have got an amazing throwback today. We don't traditionally review traditional or vintage pocket knives on this channel, but every once in a while I come across one that is just so cool we have to kind of look back and see where we came from and see how all these evolves and knives to where they're at today. And this one today is super special. To me anyway, I think it's just very cool. Now you examine this knife closely and it 100% looks like it was made within the last month or so. I mean, there's not a blemish on it. It's just flawless. And then you look at the leather sheath and it's the same thing. It's brand spanking new. So this knife was made in 1976. This is a Case Shark Tooth. Case XX Shark Tooth. Model number P197LSSP. Super, super cool. Look at that. That is just beautiful to me. And the action on this thing is not... I remember when we were growing up, that's all we had was nail nick knives. We had, older bucks and knockoff bucks and some Chinese knives that looked like bucks and some of these camp knives like this. And, that was the coolest thing in the world to us back then. But the actions were not like this. Holy cow, that thing is butter. I remember sticking my finger in here, nearly breaking my fingernail off to get some of them out. Of course, the ones we had were old and used and stuff the adults didn't want anymore, right? So I didn't have any newer ones, but look at this. I mean, it's just butter. The fit and finish is 100%. It's a traditional lockback with solid brass bolsters. This is like a diamond wood, I believe. This is when they first started using diamond wood. Beautiful. It says shark tooth there on the... So from what research I've done, this was Case's answer to the Buck 110. This was their version of it because the Buck 110 was hugely popular. So it was 3 5/8 inches long on the blade. We'll call it 4 3/4 on the handle scales and 8 1/4 overall. There was no such thing as, I guess it almost could be drop shutty back then, but not really. Those springs were just too tight. They wasn't going to pull it off. But this wasn't as bad as the nail nick knives because you could actually get some purchase on that blade and open it up. But still, you could close it with one hand. You can drop it with that hand, close it with that one, and then open it like this. It's definitely not as easy as the knives today. And the leather case, the leather case blows me more than anything because I can't believe I was born in 1976. This knife is as old as I am. I'm 48 years old. And this case looks like it was made this week. It's just in perfect condition. So let's check it out up against a couple of modern knives for a size comparison. This is the Rat 1, which is really close to its size, and the Rat 2. Super cool knife. I bought this like I do a lot of knives, maybe review it and stick it up for sale and maybe make $20-$30 off of it, or maybe not. Sometimes I lose money on them, but mainly just to review it. But man, I've kind of fallen in love with it. It's an awesome piece of history. Look where the pins are. I don't know if you can see them on there, but they almost disappear into the bolsters. Just super cool. It was in the sheath for a long time. It had a little bit of black dye on the end right here. I think the top still got a little bit of it. I didn't want to scrub it too aggressively. Yeah, it has a little bit of black dye on it right there from being in the sheath too long. Don't leave your knives in the sheets. Don't leave your pew-pews in the sheets either. It's a breeding ground for moisture. And even though this is stainless steel, a lot of them weren't. You can ruin a good knife by leaving it in the sheet. I just think that's really cool. Let's check the measurements on it. I mean not measurements, the weight. Because this chunker's got some weight to it. 8.2 ounces. Can you imagine? But, you know, back then, a knife this big, you wore it on a sheath on your belt. You know, it wasn't down in your pocket, but still, that's still dragging your waistline down. I'm not going to check the sharpness of it because, admittedly, it's not that sharp. I don't know if they used it for a little bit when they got it, but it's just not. It's not super sharp at all. I'm probably not even going to sharpen it. I'm definitely not going to use it. This is a piece of history, and it should be kept as so. I mean, 48 years. It's been not used for 48 years. It should be not used from here on out. I just wanted to show you guys that. You know, we look at all these cool modern knives. It's cool to look back and see where it all started. This is a case shark tooth. Guys, thanks for watching. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country. Good night.